Welcome to day 27 of the Match World Cup video blog in association with Chewits. Now we know, after almost a month of pulsating World Cup action, with the best players and best teams in the world battling it out, going head to head to try and get through to the biggest match in the world of footy, the World Cup final, we finally know the teams that have made it. And what a final it's going to be. It's going to be a classic, I think, because you've got Spain, possibly the best team in the world right now, the reigning European champions, with an awesome attacking unit, coming up against Holland, who are one of the most improved teams out there. They've been really tough to beat in a fantastic qualifying, haven't lost a match for ages throughout qualifying and actually in the tournament itself. And they're looking really good with their awesome midfield, passing it around and creating chances and can score goals from all over the park. So, these two teams going head to head in the final, and it's going to be an absolutely huge game. And I know you'll all be tuned in to watch that and checking out all the action and all the news on matchmag.co.uk and in the magazine. Firstly, I'm about to cover the semi-final. The semi-final was a big one, and this is why Spain have made it through, because they managed to beat Germany, the team. I want to say team, I mean collectively, everyone together, the team of the tournament really. They managed to beat them 1-0 last night with a fantastic Puyol bullet, a Barca bullet there from the Barcelona captain, running into the box from a corner and using that powerful neck of his to charge the ball home. I saw his hair flapping out behind him as he struck that ball, and nobody was going to get in his way. Not even Gerard Piqué, his teammate, who would have won the header, I think, if Puyol hadn't burst forward in the way that he had. And that's exactly the reason why the centre-backs are pushed forward for set pieces, for the free kicks and for the corners with the balls into the box, because they're so strong, powerful and generally so good in the air. And it paid off beautifully for Spain last night, because Puyol's header, it's powered them through to the World Cup final, their first ever World Cup final. So, do Spain deserve it? That's the big question. Do Spain deserve to go through ahead of Germany? Well, overall for the tournament, you'd have to say no. Germany have been absolutely fantastic. They've won and they've absolutely destroyed some really big teams like England and Argentina. But for yesterday's match, and for the control that Spain had over the game, I'd have to say the Spanish deserve it, certainly. They were the better of the two teams, they created the better chances, they had more possession, and they were really, individually and collectively, they were really, really good. The players I think really stood out for me yesterday, well, there were quite a few of them. The key man for me was Xabi Alonso. He was absolutely fantastic, controlling the midfield, passing some really nice balls, opening up a lot of space, and he was completely controlled the middle of the park. Fair play to him. Iniesta, again, was fantastic. He was out wide, he was sitting wide on the right and wide on the left, and he was creating a lot of chances with his movement, his runs, his reading of the game. I mean, he's a fantastic player, no doubt about it. And the one slightly surprising, but probably maybe even the best player on the pitch, was Pedro. He wasn't even expected to start. The talk was, would Torres be left out? Who would replace him? Nobody was talking about Pedro. But the Barcelona 22-year-old, the flying winger, he came into the team and he sat out wide. He supported David Villa from sitting off wide on the left and wide on the right and just cutting in to support him, switching the sides. And his runs, his movement and his pace made a massive difference. So the question now stands, will Torres be able to win his place back before the final? Torres hasn't scored at the tournament yet, but obviously he offers certain threats and he's got class, there's no doubt about that. He's scored in the massive matches in the past. You've seen the amount of goals he's scored against Man United and in the big nights in Europe as well. So, will he win his place back? Or will he stick with that smaller team and with the pace of Pedro on the wing? That's a major question, and all those questions will be answered by Del Bosque and in the training sessions for Spain in the build-up to the big final on Sunday. As far as Germany were concerned, they didn't really get to grips with the game. They didn't get enough possession, they couldn't have enough possession from Spain because they just keep the ball so well. And I think they probably missed Thomas Muller last night. The guy who came in for him, Chewits, he played very well, but he's not the same kind of player. He sits a bit deeper, he's not a goal scorer, and his movement isn't quite so good, even though maybe his passing is slightly better. So unfortunately, Muller's lack of drive and linking up with the other attacking players, Podolski and Klose, meant that those players were a little bit isolated and they just couldn't create the chances, or they didn't have that extra maybe bit of brain power to really to outthink and to out-trick and out-skill Spain's defenders. So Germany go out, but they will be playing in the third place playoff the players I don't think will really want to be playing there themselves. They'd much rather be in the final or maybe going home just to think about what's happened this summer. And I think they should be fairly proud of themselves. But they will go out, I'm sure, and try and win that game, because that's Germany for you. They want to win everything. So that's going to be a big game for Saturday. Sunday's the final, and all the news will be delivered on the Match Facebook page, the Chewits Facebook page, and matchmag.co.uk. And of course, every day in my blog, all the news from all the training grounds, all the feedback I've got there, and everything you could possibly want to know in build up to the biggest game in footy. That's the end of a Match World Cup video blog in association with Chewits. I'll see you again tomorrow. Laters.